Alright, well, welcome back to the Superlite coupe build. In this video, it is all about the seats. Okay, so stay tuned. Alright, well, what we are looking at are the new seats, or actually the original seats and the new seats side by side. To nobody's surprise, I went out and I purchased Tillett B5 seats. And we'll talk a little bit about the seats, I guess, throughout the video here. But anyway, you can see the difference. This is the standard RCR seat on the left and the Tillet on the right. And then back here, you have the gentleman's seat on the right and the Tillet on the left. And it's sort of hard to think that the same human being that needs to sit in the wider seat can fit in the Tillet. But, you know, the fact is I fit in the Tillet okay. If I had a ½ inch more hip room on the hip bones, I would consider it really comfortable, but I think they're going to do just fine. But there are a couple challenges, as always, you know, just dealing with the tight quarters on the Superlite coupe. So that's what we're going to get into in this video. Okay, well, before we say goodbye to the RCR seats, you know, I did, you know, at the end of last video, I basically threw my hands up and said, you know what, I don't want to invest any more time on the seats. You know, it would have been another 100 hours to do what I needed to do. Then I have to either make the seat covers myself or pay somebody to make them. But I came up with a couple other ideas to get these seats to fit, and you can see, you know, this outer line here. So I was thinking of just taking the shoulders totally off the seats, and that would have given me just enough room. And then, you know, maybe I would make pads that sit in the seat, sort of like the Tillet has, which I'll show you a little later in the video, instead of a seat cover, you know. But then I'd have to make the fiberglass perfect and get it sprayed, get somebody to paint it and polish it, and, you know, at the end of the day, I just felt like it wasn't worth it. The other thing I was thinking about doing is just sort of mimic the low sides of the seat and sort of, you know, along this line here, and just cut it out. But then the other thing is, you know, look, the seat modified like that is not crash tested. These Tillets are crash tested, and, you know, at some point, you know, sanity needs to take hold. So I think all in all, this is a good move, but we do have a couple challenges here. So I bought the Tillet brackets, and I was a little concerned maybe they wouldn't do the job, and it turns out they really don't. They sell two types of brackets. They sell a tall bracket, and they sell a shorter bracket. And the shorter bracket is designed to fit on the runners. And when you add the height of the runners and the shorter brackets, they equal the height of the taller brackets. But the main issue with the shorter brackets, you can't use the lowest hole in the back. And that is an error on Tillet's part in their documentation. And for some reason, these seats have been available for about 10 years, and apparently no one else has pointed that out to Tillet, but I did, and it turns out I'm going to have to fab up my own brackets if I want to use the runners. And another builder has done the same thing. So anyway, that's sort of what we'll cover in this video. And here's the issue. The issue is these seats at the current angle are 2 inches higher than the RCR seats. So what I need to do is make a bracket that if I tilt this seat back just a bit more, I can get the seat down about an inch. That's probably all I need to do to get it to fit in the car properly. Okay, so I'm going to mock up some side brackets out of plywood, going back to basics. We'll look at the seat in the car with the modified bracket versus the production bracket, and if I like the angle, then I'll make them out of aluminum. All right, well, let's take a closer look at the Tillett B5 seat. And the seat itself is gorgeous. I mean, it comes in a fiberglass version and a carbon version. I opted for the carbon version. I mean, it's definitely a beautiful seat. The brackets, on the other hand, I think are a bit on the frustrating side. So here's the deal. I wanted the flexibility of having a runner so I can accommodate other size drivers. And also, if you have a runner, you can just, mount the runners on the car, and if you need to shift the seat around and recline it a little more or less, you don't have to re-drill any holes. And I was originally planning on using this hole and the bottommost hole in order to recline the seat as much as I needed, but it turns out that the hardware to mount the runner interferes with the seat. Also, the dome of the seat interferes with the bottom of the bracket. And they've been selling this seat for about 10 years, and for the life of me, I don't understand why it wasn't documented more clearly. They basically said that the combination of the runner and the TB2 bracket is equivalent to the TB3 bracket standalone, but clearly it's not. So anyway, we sort of move on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that bracket off. I'll trace it. I'll make it out of plywood. We'll take a look at how it lays, and if I like that pattern, then we'll make it out of aluminum. All right, so we mocked up these brackets. It was pretty painless. Anyway, I think what this does, I basically brought this mounting hole up 1/2 inch and brought this one down 1/8 of an inch. And I think this will do the job. So we'll compare this seat versus the stock brackets, and if they look good, then we'll fabricate them up. Okay, well, there we go. I did take some measurements. So the one on the left are the new brackets. It brings the back of the seat down exactly 1 inch, which is great because that's about the extra clearance I needed. Also, the rake of the seat is certainly a little further back, and that just helps getting in and out of the car, gets those side bolsters out of the way. So we'll put these in the car so you can just see the difference in positioning. A minor adjustment does make a big difference, and like I've been saying, every 1/4 inch means something. But anyway, I think this did the job. Okay, well, we're down in the Joel K workshop, and to nobody's surprise, it looks like a bomb went off down here. But anyway, this is what I wanted to show everybody. So I figure this is worth showing. So this is really how I go about making these brackets. So I use the blue dye and a scribe, and I created this pattern, and then I coat this with clear tape. So the clear tape prevents the jigsaw from marring the surface. It would probably mess it up sort of like this. And because I have to use the jigsaw close to the edge, I have a 1/4 inch piece of aluminum. This actually I used to cut out the prior brackets. And I just sort of inch my way around. If I have to make a tight bend, I just sort of take the blade and cut a little bit away, and then I bring it back in so the blade can pivot. So anyway, I'm going to cut up all these, and then we'll take a look at them. Well, I just can't help myself. I love making brackets. What can I tell you? But anyway, I figured this is worth showing too. Look at the nice clean cut with the blade I have. 24 tooth blade. I'll clean this up with the sanding drum, but I'm able to get right on that line. With this variable speed jigsaw that I got from Home Depot. So anyway, it just shows you could have some basic tools, and we're going to make some parts that are going to look really good. Okay, well, about 15 hours later, we've got 4 brackets done. Candidly, I'm a little tired of making seat brackets, but anyway, these will be the last ones for the build. We'll take a closer look here. I had to carve out a little clearance here for the dome of the seat, since the dome sits down quite a bit. I added a little more recline with these brackets than the stock brackets, and you know, I polished the edges up with the sanding drum, and all in all, they look great. Okay, so we'll put them on the car and then we'll take a look. Okay, I'll squeeze in one more segment here. So there it is. We got the brackets and they're sitting on the runners. I don't have the lever installed yet. That has to be modified. But anyway, you can see it's nice and laid back, but not too laid back, so it's uncomfortable to drive. Here's like everything we look at, look how tight everything is. So you can see it just clears the base. And then you can see in this area, we just clear, the mounting screw. But anyway, this will work out good. I gained a good inch of height by laying these seats back, so we'll take a look at them in the car. Okay, well, this will be the last segment. Here's a video, a little glare there, but here's a video of the stock brackets. Oh, you got almost 4 inches of clearance between the rear bulkhead and the seat. And it's at, it's not at a super reclined angle, but that certainly was not going to work for me. I mean, it was just too high up into the ceiling of the car or the roof of the car. So now we've got the seat with the new brackets, and you can see, you can see I have about 1 3/4 or about 1.5 inches, very similar to the RCR seats. So, and also I gained 1 inch of headroom. So, all in all, I think this will work. I will say that the next video, without a doubt, I will be installing these seats in the chassis, and I'll finally be able to move on. Let's see. Oh, the last item is, look at all the room for the shifter. So they look great. I got them to fit great. As always, it's a little more work than you planned, but I'm very happy with this. Okay, so once again, thanks for watching and take care.